In today's video, we're gonna finally get the Land Rover started and take it out on its maiden voyage. As you saw in the previous video in this series, we were not able to get the Land Rover started, but we did diagnose what we think is the issue. Finally, after what felt like weeks of waiting, we have our brand new inertia switch. And for this to hopefully be the solution to all of our starting problems. So as you can see, I'm taking off the old inertia switch right here, which is just simply screwed into the firewall. I'm putting a new inertia switch on and then simply plugging it back in. I made sure to disconnect the battery through this whole process so that we didn't create any codes in the ECU. The battery is in. You just saw me obviously replace the inertia switch with the new one. I'm not gonna actually crank the engine yet because I still need to fix the other spark plug hole that got threaded. We do have the stuff for that. But what I'm gonna do right now is I'm just going to put the key in the ignition with the battery on and turn the ignition on to see if we hear the fuel pump. Because remember, in the previous video, that was an easy way to tell whether we were getting any fuel actually pumped to the engine for it to be able to start. So fingers crossed, we start to hear that fuel pump going. You're gonna get my raw reaction. Okay, so here we go. I still don't hear that fuel pump. Oh my God, I do not hear it still. So after turning the ignition, it was not looking good. I couldn't even hear the fuel pump going, which is exactly the reason why we switched out the inertia switch. I mean, I guess we can give it one crank, right? Even after fully cranking the engine, there was still no luck. I was honestly pretty disheartened, but I said to hell with it, and I gave it a little bit of throttle, and then this is what happened. Oh my God. That was the start. Was that the problem? My heart is racing. Oh my God. Oh my God. Let's get that spark plug in. Oh my God. As you can tell, I was pretty lost for words. That's the fuel pump. Yes! That was the problem. Oh my God. My heart's pounding. Holy shit. Oh my God. I'm shaking. There we go. Fine. Oh my God. 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 Oh, that's the best feeling ever. All of that freaking hard work. I couldn't believe that we'd actually fixed it. Well, so I thought. All right, I'm gonna disconnect the battery for now. We don't cause any issues while I'm doing this. I'm not gonna rush this rebore of this freaking spark plug hole, because if I fuck it up and then I can't start it, I'll be absolutely devastated. So we're gonna take this slow. I'm gonna record this process, obviously, showing you how I do it. Oh, I'm so excited. So I don't know what Land Rover tech decided this would be the best idea, but here is my wrench. Here is my long arm going underneath the master cylinder all the way through to the socket. And trust me, from so much trial and error, that is the only way that I could get this spark plug in. I'm not even kidding. We are rethreading the hole, like I said, because it's just cooked. We're using an old spark plug to do it. And then, I'll just make sure it's running and working, and then I'll probably put the new spark plug in. God damn, it's crazy. Like, you got to take off the master cylinder if you really want to get in there. But enough complaining, let's get this bloody spark plug. And so it was time to fit in the world's hardest spark plug. Thanks to the Land Rover technicians for that one, and start it again. Finally, that new spark plug is kind of rethreaded. Still got to deal with that problem, but you guys are gonna get the first official startup, hopefully, of this car. I know that there's coolant in it, there's oil in it. How old both of these materials are, who knows? But it's in there. Let's just see if she turns over. And now that it was running, and obviously it started up again, but it was running very, very rough. So now that we know that we'd fixed the vehicle and it was running, it was time to make some improvement. As I was underneath the car, I had to take off this second support beam for the exhaust so that the catalytic converters could simply slide down and slide out.
There we have it. 1 cat, 2 cat, it's out. I thought it was gonna be way easier than it was. That was bloody hard.
And now it was time for me to actually clean the catalytic converters. So I'd bought some Cataclean fluid, which you're meant to mix in with your fuel and let it run through the engine. But because I'd taken them off, I just poured it directly into the cats.
Again, I'm not trying to pass smog here or do anything crazy. I'm just trying to make it so that we can get it running and take it on its first test drive.
I also thought because it needed to be mixed with some fuel, it'd be a good idea to put some fuel down there as well. In hindsight, that was absolutely terrible idea, and I wouldn't recommend anybody that does that.
Now it's time for us to put our catalytic converters back in the car, and hopefully we will have solved our blockage problem.
Putting the cats back on was way harder than taking them off, and it made me realize even more that I really need to get a car jack.
That was really tough. I haven't put in the support beams yet that kind of protect and hold in the catalytic converters, because we're not going crazy or going anywhere. We're just, like I said, we're trying to test drive it just here in the street. And so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to start it up and see if it made any difference to how it runs, you know, seeing if that cleared up the cats basically.
We started it back up again, and she seems to be running way better.
All right, so it's running way better. It's kicking up a bunch of shit out the back. We'll give it a little rev and see if it can clean it a bit. Oh yeah, there's a lot of shit coming out. We're gonna turn it off for a second. Let's have a look. There's a lot of smoke.
A quick disclaimer. You can see that obviously there's a lot of crap coming out the exhaust, and whenever you're working on a car at home in your garage, make sure you ventilate your house. Otherwise, this can happen.
Right guys, it's currently 2 in the morning and I'm making this part of the video so that if any of you guys are working on cars at home, then this is something you should be aware of as well. So I obviously reattached the catalytic converters. We ran the car a little bit and it's pumping out all of that kind of white smoke that was from the exhaust. And then we were at the gym and I got an alert from my HomePod that was hearing a noise, and it does that if it hit, like if someone breaks in or it's hearing like a fire alarm go off or something, it will alert me and then tell me, and then I can listen to what the sound is. And it just so happened that the carbon monoxide alarm from up near our bedroom was going off. Now it was going off for a short period of time, but any carbon monoxide going off is not good news. If you're not aware of carbon monoxide, then it's a silent killer. You can't smell it, you can't see it, whatever. So we did ventilate the home, and the alarm went off before we got back from the gym. Like it stopped going and alerting. But with that being said, we wanted to call the fire department and check to see. So the fire department are currently on their way. They can come check the house with their equipment and make sure that we are safe to go to sleep.
Carbon monoxide is extremely dangerous. It's known as the silent killer, and so taking every precaution necessary is always very important. And it was something that I was a little bit lackadaisical on. So don't let that happen to you, and I've definitely learned from my experience.
So it's the next day and we are all safe after the fire department came. So that is good news. They also gave us a bit of advice on just making sure that everything is ventilated when I do start up the car, so that obviously we're not putting ourselves at risk. But they did say that we did everything right, we did ventilate the place. But a big thank you to Brooke for making sure that we're staying safe and staying persistent with ensuring that we double checked ourselves, because obviously we don't want to cause any harm to ourselves. But right now we're going to go ahead and start the vehicle again, let it run and warm up to operating temperature, and see if it burns off some of the fumes that are inside and some of the blockage that's inside of those catalytic converters, to see if we can get it running nice and smooth. So that'll be the job that we're doing right now.
And so it was time for me to properly ventilate my house and garage, start it up for the first time, and bring it to temperature. Well, that's what I thought anyway.
That is not good news. I am not sure why it's not starting.
And at this point, I was truly stumped. We'd just fixed the inertia switch, we'd just got it running, the cats were clean. How could it not be starting? It also sounded like it was getting starved of fuel again. So I spent hours trying every different combination that I could think of, taking the oxygen sensors off, putting them back on, checking the air box, which we did find something that needed replacing, seeing if the mass airflow sensor was in good condition. But nothing seemed to be helping.
I'm not losing faith in her. I think she's going to be an amazing vehicle when we get her going.
Until one of you guys made a suggestion in the comments in our previous video. So we headed out to the store and we picked up some starter fluid along with, finally, my own jack.
We are so back. We have some starter fluid. Let's try and start her up with some starter fluid that we have right here and see if that gets her going.
So we sprayed in the starter fluid into the intake and then, lo and behold, she started right up. So thank you so much for commenting and helping me out getting this vehicle started. After she was running, she ran very smooth and there was no problems at all. It does mean that there is probably some issue when it comes to the ECU and the readings that we're getting from the mass airflow sensor and the oxygen sensors, which is preventing the fuel mixture from being correct to actually start the vehicle, but we'll deal with that in another video. Now it was time to officially take her out on her maiden voyage, which I could not wait to do.
Okay, so you guys are gonna get your first test drive after all. Thank goodness, after all that effort and that work, she does start up. I haven't tested to see if it'll start up without the starter fluid, so that's what we're gonna test right now. And if it does, I'm driving it straight back out. We're gonna go along my little alleyway here, and then we will drive it back in to this other bay. Let's get this thing started, and let's go and drive it. Let's see if she'll start up. That's a good sign. Oh, I've got the handbrake if need be. I don't feel like they're working. Head brakes are terrible, so we might have to use the handbrake here a little bit. The handbrake holds it, okay. Okay, I'm using the handbrake. There's no brake. They're very shit. It's running good, man. I don't want us to be too soon. Power steering works. Here we go, our first drive. Yeah, the car is flashing all sorts of warning lights up at me. With this driving. Oh my god! Okay, we're gonna be careful. Slow down. Yeah. Take her on the road. Take her out here. Sounds good. And it doesn't seem to be underpowered or anything. Suspension is bouncy. Doesn't seem to be like starving it of fuel when it's driving. This is epic! Oh. A little bit close to stalling sometimes. She's a smoker. And the temp gauge seems to be going up. There's your first test drive, ladies and gentlemen. She is alive. And let's turn her on. Yes! Thank God. I have some faith in my ability. Oh, thank Jesus. So there we go. I'm letting it sink in a little bit that we have finally got her out on her maiden voyage after sitting for 6 months. Having not really been taken on a trip for over 2 years, she finally rolled around and did her first little test drive. And if that's not worth a like and subscribe, I do not know what is, because this video has been tough. to make for sure. But I will not quit with this vehicle. I want to make it something so special, both for me and for you guys here on the channel as well. So stick around for the next video, like, subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Peace.